pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sammy, you want to talk together a little prayer this morning?
Our Heavenly Father, we come to you this morning, Lord, with thankful hearts for another day of life. Ask, Lord, that you would bless each one around this table today that makes the decisions for our county. Lord, that you would bless all the ones that lost loved ones, so many that's sick in the hospitals. We just ask, Lord, that you would be with us today and bless this meeting. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Well, we want to welcome all of you to our early morning session. We've changed our meeting times around a little bit, so we'll start early in the morning. Maybe we can get more out of everybody if we go early in the morning. Okay, Randy.
Denzel Potter. Here. John Brown.
Here.
Stanley Rigsby.
Here.
Brandon Evans.
Here.
Anthony Likens.
Here.
Stanley Franklin.
Here.
Four.
Okay. So carry on. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. Our first order of business is Miss Dana. You're here to talk about the Kentucky Works Program.
Yes, I'm Dana Elam with the Regional Kentucky Works Program, and I cover Morgan and Montgomery. And what we're doing is want to present our employer reimbursement contract. We have a young lady, Whitney Easterly, and they want to hire out to senior citizens. Okay, and what we do is we work with KTAP recipients, and they have to be a deprivation to a child, but I monitor them and help them overcome their barriers and everything. So I've got an example of a pay, let me hand these out and then I'll give you an overview of everything. You've got yours there.
Thank you.
Our employer reimbursement contract is a 6-month contract. What we do is we will reimburse you at 75% for the first 4 months and 50% for the last 2 months of the contract. And I wasn't for sure how many here. So, and I monitor them. Do you need one? I would say so. And everything, and go over them. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can see the first one here is it's just an overview of our wage subsidy. And like I said, it's 6 months, 50% for the last 2, 75 for the first 4 or first 4. And the reimbursement is done at the beginning, like you will submit the bill at the end of the month. And then within the first week, I think the checks are cut the first Thursday of the following month at Big Sandy ad. And that's when you will receive the reimbursement. Okay? So as you can see, the employer, you're not obligated. If it doesn't work out and the client doesn't doesn't work, then you can terminate the contract. You're not obligated to keep the client for 6 months. Now, what we like to do though is to contact me, or I'll monitor them, and I will see if we can resolve any issues that they have and that kind of stuff. We do require 30 hours a week. My director can, if it's the right person, she can go down to maybe 25, 28, something like that. And it is required, minimum wage or above. As I told Lindsay before, we've done a contract for $18 an hour. The guy worked a week and said it just wasn't for him. So, but here's an overview, and it's really, we monitor and we make sure the young lady at the senior citizens, she's currently volunteering there, but she's only allowed to do 20 hours a week, and they need more help. So that's the gist of that. And also, I did an example. They gave us an hour of, so basically if you're paying, say, for instance, somebody $9 an hour, this is just an example, for 30 hours a week. So at 75%, Big Sandy would be paying $6.75 or 75 cents of their pay for $9 an hour. That would be for 4 months. And then we go down in the last 2 months of the contract at $9. Big Sandy would be paying $4.50 per hour. So you would increase yours, but that's the 6 month contract. So it's a total weekly reimbursement on $9 an hour at 75% would be $202. So
If this thing works out like we think it ought to, now, we can go ahead and bring them on, or do you all expect us to bring them on as a regular employee here, or not?
no, that's
Okay.
up to you. What I will do is, part of my job is to make sure if, say, we want to get them back employed within 30 days, okay? And so that's what we would do. But no, you're not obligated to that.
But there's always
That
a
would be the ideal thing.
Yeah, possibility that we could bring them on as a regular employee,
Yeah.
if it works out.
And then, like I said, the next thing here is just a sample contract. That's just what we draw up and we sign. And it's got the client's name, it's got all the rules and regulations and statutes and stuff in it. And then on the back here, you can see that there is a place to sign. We would sign it, bring it back, get the director, Retha Mullins is our director, and then we would have the person submitting the payroll to sign this as well. And that person would be the one, and they may designate someone else besides the person submitting it in case of emergency, then we would have to have those signatures as well. And then the other thing in the packet is, and this is what I didn't have the other day, is the how you submit the pay. And it's pretty self-explanatory, and here is a sheet that goes down by the numbers. And so, you just submit it the following week or the end of the month, and you'll get your pay within probably a week of that. But it's pretty self-explanatory how you do this with this information sheet. They are covered, like insurance-wise, she's covered through Medicaid and everything. So there would be no insurance or no liabilities to you guys or anything like that. So any questions?
Well, you need to work.
And I'll be honest with you, Whitney is someone that I've written contracts. I don't write a lot of them because, honestly, God, we have a numbers outcome that we have to meet too. And if they're not gonna, if I don't think that, if they're not gonna show up for an appointment with me, then I'm not gonna write a contract on them because they're not gonna show up for work. If my appointment's at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and they can't make it, then they're probably not gonna be at work at 8 o'clock. Or you give them a couple of times and they don't. So she's actually a very good worker and does a lot of stuff down there, and Cindy says they need the help. So when she came to me and
Has she worked down there a little bit before then, or?
yeah,
I'll make the motion.
she's just not doing the hours. They need more help,
Yeah.
and she's obligated she actually does more than what she's required, but with KTAP, she's required to do 20 hours a week because of the age of the child.
Everything square with you, Linda?
We need to set the hourly rate. If we're going to go through with it, we need to set the hourly rate. Her name needs to be in the minutes, and we need to set the hours that she'll be working. The only thing to consider with the hours is that 30 hours, I think we are required to do the retirement, and so that will be out of our pocket, not reimbursed.
Well, if you don't want to do that, we could probably do 28 hours, something like that.
I'm gonna contact retirement and see if they have the option of opting out, or if we have any options there. But that's the only thing on my end is the retirement, but.
Denzel's made the motion and Anthony seconded it.
Yes.
We will enter into this contract with you all if it's feasible and everything goes along with our treasurer, so. All in favor? Aye. Those likewise.
We would set the rate now, or
Yeah, we need to set the rate now.
you want to put that in a motion or a second motion?
You put it in that if you want to. Does anybody know what she's making now?
she's not making anything.
Volunteer.
It's volunteer.
She's getting that in lieu of her KTAP check, which is, like I said, she could do more hours, but the rules won't allow it because she has a child. But everything's good as far as daycare and everything,
Yeah.
so.
Well, you said a while ago she made $9 an hour. Y'all paid how much of it?
We would pay $675, I believe, for
First 4 months, I believe, was.
first 4 months and $450 for the last 2 months of the contract.
That's $9 an hour.
That's at $9, so it's,
Can we handle $9 with that?
I'll put that in my motion. That's all that's right.
And then in 6 months, we'll just bring it back up to see where we go from there.
okay.
Okay.
The paperwork that I'll need to get with you, we have to have that sheet filled out to submit, the one I gave you the other day. I will be back in West Liberty, what is today? Wednesday.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah, Valentine's Day. I have to leave to go pick up my sister in Lexington, so I'm leaving work early. I'm in Mount Sterling tomorrow, Friday.
I can have it done.
Will that work?
That'll
Then
work.
we'll just meet Friday.
Okay.
And where I work in multiple counties, sometimes I don't know where I'm at. And here is my card, but that's my cell phone number. I don't give my clients my cell phone number. They don't pay me enough for that. So,
If for some reason that place is closed and she needs to get her airs in, could she come up here and, float and get some airs in?
yeah, you guys can use her however you want. That's, that's up to you. So, yeah, we just monitor. She would, if there's any issues, we try, but whatever you guys want her to do, if there's barriers, we try to talk to her, hey, what's going on? How come you missed work? Or, something like that. Then we try to intervene. But it's a good program, actually. It helps people get work experience and everything.
Do you know what percentage that works for you all like that moves on up to individual, to another entity, or
Probably about 50%.
gets permanent employment?
Mhm.
That's pretty good in this
Yeah.
point in time.
It is. That's why, everyone that comes through my door, I don't say, oh, let's go see if we can get you on at McDonald's or someplace, because they just won't do it. I've been doing this too long to see. I've worked 17 years for Big Sandy area development, so, yeah.
Well, it's a good starting place, I'm sure.
Yeah, it is, and hopefully we can get her some experience and she'll, develop a work
Yeah.
ethic.
Okay.
There was a guy at the prison called trying to get his Social Security back, and on the phone he said, I'll just be honest with you, I was born without a work ethic. He was being honest. So, all right, well, I'll get with you on Friday.
Okay.
That's cool.
Sounds good.
We'll submit the paperwork, and she won't start payroll until everything is signed.
Yeah.
Okay?
Sounds good.
That'll work. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Go back anytime.
All right, see ya.
All right. Okay, guess we're gonna need to go on to the sheriff's settlement. Tax settlement of the sheriff's department.
Should be in everybody's packet.
Everybody ought to have one.
Yeah, I think that everybody should have one. This is just the 2016 Sheriff's Office unmanned code tax settlement. It's just an outline of what was received and what was dispersed out for unmanned code for 2016 taxes. And we just need it approved as a whole subject to audit.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
Losing that.
Okay, Lindsay, do we have something in the packet from you?
Got my big financial statement packet. As of January 31st, in the general fund, we had $464,110.57. The road has $649,469.97. Jail has $87,537.04. LGEA has $69,837. Forestry is zeroed out, and special projects is $85,119.30. Now, I have the appropriation condition report and the revenue condition report as usual. The appropriation condition report does not have all the budget transfers reflected in that. So that I will either email that out or bring that at the next meeting. I'm gonna go ahead and make the corrections. There's not a whole lot, and it will all come out of the reserve. So there's that. And then, in the very back, let's see here. We have, the last 2 pages are interfund cash transfers for the jail. $35,156.54 was transferred from LGEA into the jail. That would be our mineral tax that we get. And then on the next page, I went ahead and transferred $100,000 from the general fund to the jail. Our jail bill is running $50,000 a month right now. And so it has knocked our budget down big time. And so I went ahead and done the $100,000, and I also attached, right before the transfers, is an up-to-date journal, a financial statement, and transferring that $135,000, we have $31,000 in the jail. And that's because our encumbrances are really going up right now. But other than that, that's all I have for you. I'll need approval on my interfund cash transfers and on my report.
And you said the budget transfer wasn't ready yet?
I didn't, no.
Okay, so you just need a motion for your interfund?
I'll make that motion.
Yep.
Second.
And then
Anthony
approval.
made it, and Stanley seconded, all in favor?
Does they just have any more people locked up, or?
Yeah.
That's what I figured.
You know, the jailer really does a good job keeping up with this money, and it sure knocks a hole in our budget, all this that we have to pay out to keep people.
What's hurting us is, we're having a lot of arrests on out-of-county warrants, and we're having to foot the bill. And that hurts us.
Is there any way of going back to the county where it originated and getting any reimbursement?
You can no, you can't get the reimbursement, and if you haul them to the jail, you have to pay. I've tried to fight with them on it and tried to kind of buck on it, and I think Lexington, there was 2 counties that went into litigation over it because they said, if we didn't take them to jail, we're not paying for it, even though it was on their warrant. And if we take them to jail, then we do have to pay for that, but we can hold them and make their sheriff come get them, or our sheriff's department can transfer them to their sheriff's department where the warrant is issued, and then they take them to jail and they'll be responsible that way. But that's difficult to do.
Can we not hold them somewhere here until they come and just force them into?
They have, according to that litigation, when we take them on an out-of-county warrant, they have a reasonable amount of time to either come and pick them up and take them to the facility they hold them, or transfer it over, however.
What do they
And-
consider a reasonable amount of time?
Well, it depends on how noisy you are about it, you know. I think it was in there 48 hours or something like that. But if you don't say something about it, they will leave them there as long as they can because they don't have to pay for them.
Yeah.
You have to really push. So, you know, there is something that needs to be done, but I don't really know what you can do with that. And we're starting to feel the effects of it.
Well, every county faces the same dilemma on the upkeep of the prisoners. I mean, it just takes their budget to nothing, you know. It's
It
like
does.
$50,000 is a pretty good lick for us every
Yeah.
month.
See, our jail bill was, I mean, that's double. That's double, yeah. And it's been that way for, I think, the past 3 months. It's been high 40s, low 50s, you know.
50,000.
Well, some of that, I mean, we had about one of the biggest drug busts
Right,
county's
that
ever
was part
had.
of it.
We put 18 methamphetamine dealers and heroin dealers behind bars, and we've kept them there, waiting on indictment by the grand jury. Once they're convicted, some of these people face 20 years to life. Once they're convicted, that goes on the state's dime. But up until basically they get to circuit court and they're convicted, then it is a county expense. But the jail bills, they're staying at about $35 a day, and I think when it does switch over to Round County, it'll be $35 a day as well. That's actually a pretty good price if you look around other places and what it costs to house prisoners. But we have put a lot of people in jail lately, and as I said, mainly there was about a 20-person bust where we did break up a bunch of houses, and a lot of people are facing 20 plus years in jail. So at least you've gotten value for your money. I assure you that. But it is way high. Some counties had smaller counties that made the mistake of and I hear this all the time, why don't we have a jail? Jails are very, very expensive. You factor in, the employees that work there and the benefits and all that, but you also factoring in lawsuits, prisoners that they have nothing else to do but sit in their cell and sue. Okay, so we do escape a lot of liability, but $35 a day, if you do have a lot of prisoners, it does get pretty expensive.
Yeah.
That's not a forever thing, though. As I said, once they're convicted, once they take a plea agreement, whatever, then they'll be on the state's dime.
But until then, we're responsible for them until that happens.
And there's a process that takes place, and sometimes they can be, convicted and everything, but it will be up to a month before all the paperwork gets in line and stuff, but they do credit that back. So, hopefully there will be some of that going on too. That's all I've got.
Okay, let's see, we've got a report here from the emergency management
Yes, she
in our packet.
She left, but she had a conference call.
Is there anything we need to look at?
No, it's just what she's been doing for the last month. Just a report.
Okay, Mr. Gray, you want to say anything to us about the roads?
We just got a couple bad breaks, one had steel put in. Got one over on Sandy Crossover over the logger had undercut the road and that whole thing fell off.
Yeah. Where was the second one? Where was the second one?
Over on the Steel Branch,
Okay, all right,
over by the river.
yeah.
Is the rock you all put in there still holding for now over on Sand Lake?
More than check and see.
Okay. You'll say, 'cause I hadn't heard nothing this morning either.
I doubt it'll stay, but got to have steel put in if there's enough room to put steel. Very narrow in there. Let's have to build a new section of road through there.
All this rain coming too.
It doesn't make it sound very good, does it? There's much rain.
So we need to get a little somebody, state or something.
Can we get any emergency funds through it?
Should be able to through the
We
state.
did on the, up there at Railroad Fork, didn't we?
I know.
Just gotta contact them at the state because I don't know how long that rock they put in there will last. If it'll last.
As long as it keeps raining,
Mhm.
we're on down.
Same way on Steel Branch Road, it's scooting right over the river up there.
Yeah. And we'll right on, I mean,
Yeah.
as long as it's wet like this.
Should do getting rain for the next 5 or 6 days.
Yeah.
Well, there won't be nothing left up there on that one. And I'm sure it is the same.
50, 60.
Okay, Miss Robin, you want to talk to us about the Wellness Center?
Things are going good. The numbers are up. Our attendance is great right now. I'm waiting on getting the flooring done to do the inflatables, and when we get that in, it's going to pick up really well.
School been out all these days, it's helped attendance, I'm sure, hasn't it?
There's been a lot of kids in there playing.
Yeah.
Some of the older ones lifting weights and stuff. Doing good. The only concern I have right now is our garbage.
Garbage?
We don't know where to put our garbage. I have to call Gary and them to come and get it just every few days. Right now, we're just sticking it in the bowling alley room, and that's not a good place to put your garbage. We have no dumpster or anything like that. if we could just get something small to put it in that's covered till.
Would they bring us a dumpster if we wanted to rent one from one of these outfits?
We don't have a whole lot, but, you know, a week's worth of garbage is gonna smell. So
Yeah.
we need somewhere outside that we can put it.
Well, if they ever get
Advanced
to
disposal, isn't
rent
that
them,
what they're
though.
doing?
County's taking it, safe trash bill. Aren't they?
The one thing about a dumpster is there's people that use it, like it's the back.
Yeah, no, got one.
Wrong landing.
The way it's set up down there, our dumpster is gonna be out behind the building, like, if you're going down 7, it's gonna be between the building and the hill on this end. So, you know, it would be right by the back door, and I don't know if anybody would go back there. If they know it's back there, you know, of course, they're gonna go back there and throw garbage out and pick it up out back all the time.
What would you wanna look into getting a dumpster down there?
I mean, that would be up to you all.
I mean,
Like I said, we don't have a whole lot. I'd hate to have to pay a big monthly bill unless we just got something that we owned, and maybe the boys could come and get it, or somebody could come and pick it up.
Wouldn't have anything up there at the county garage, like a big barrel or anything, would it? Take it
No.
open.
I think this morning, well, when I left last night, we had like maybe 15 to 20 bags sitting there, and it was bad.
We need to look into it to see if we can correct the situation some way.
Get some kind of container or
Yeah.
big trash cans or something.
What's a dumpster like we got out here a month? What's the fee on it? Lindsay, you know?
We pay right at 200 a month.
We've got 2 out here. Is that for the 2 that we have here?
I'm not
One of
sure. I
those
think
is
one, yeah, downstairs, one is ours and one is downstairs. That's only for one.
Okay.
But it depends on how often you have them picked up too.
Would that be a problem with the truck getting around to that?
That's
That
what I
would be,
wonder about,
that would be
because
the
that,
problem.
You know, the blacktop is not very thick down there, and it has to go all the way around the building.
Yeah, we bust the blacktop up
Yeah,
in.
not quick.
So that's why I'm thinking if we just had a container that we could put it in outside. The
Yeah,
animals could get to it until.
So you can get them big trash containers on wheels.
That little trailer up there, I don't know if they've got anything like it up there or not. You could put a box on it, just load it up, then when it got full, they just hooked up, take it up there and dump it.
I could go back to my little people.
Yeah,
Put it up there and load it.
it'd be the best thing if we had just a little small trailer,
That was
with
the joke. I wouldn't-
like a box or something down on it, or water cake or anything.
Anything built.
Yeah, anything to hold it.
Get the animals out of it.
Yeah, first thing you know, the dog will be into it and have scattered all over.
Well, down there,
might even
animals come down out of the
Woods,
woods.
yeah.
That's what I say, you'd have to have a box.
Yeah, you'd have to have-
We'll look into it,
Red wire.
Robin, see if we can help your situation.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you want to talk about the batting pitching cages? Is that one of your projects?
This is something that Jerry Hampton has been working on, it's a proposal, and he's talked with us several times about doing the batting and pitching cages in the bowling alley
Area?
area
Yeah.
of the wellness center. And so it's a proposal for you all to look at. He said that he could be here at our meeting in March to talk about it more if you all want to look at it and kind of get an idea of what he's proposing.
You said it's Hampton, Jerry Hampton.
You want to elaborate on that any?
I don't know nothing about it, I don't think.
Financially, I think it is one of our best options for that area.
Well,
And I think it would
at
be very
least it would be
profitable.
something
Yeah, I mean, it's
for
a new
now
space.
because
I get asked about batting cages down there quite often,
I've had several phone calls.
Yeah.
quite often.
I think it would be very profitable.
And it would benefit our kids.
Well, we need to utilize that space if it's feasible for them to use this. Well, we need to do it. We can.
And I'd say you would get a lot of attraction from other counties
You'd
too,
say out of county, yup.
especially winter time and even, even on rainy days during the summer. When you can't practice outside, that would be utilized quite a bit.
I think it would be a very worthwhile investment.
Because
He
teams,
would if we needed it to.
I know other ones, teams come and rent the whole thing for the hour.
Yeah.
Have we got any money left on that fund that we had down there for that, stuff like that?
I think so.
We ought to use it.
The CD money,
Yeah.
There's still 24,000.
That's about what we need.
Mhm.
4,700.
Does that include the delivery?
I don't know about that.
Yes, it does include delivery and estimated freight. The only thing it doesn't include is the flooring, and I think Jerry
he
said that
said
would be
that
about
there would
5,000.
see some electrical.
And then we
Yeah.
would need a contractor to install because there is some electrical aspects, so you don't wanna, do that on your own. You want it done by a contractor. So
Probably need
those,
some hookups and stuff for some
Yeah.
of the machines.
so
Right.
those would be your expenses, on top of the 24, 25.
Can we get the health board to put up some of the money for it, or?
I know a lot of these kids, they go everywhere to do that.
They travel,
travel
Lexington and all, they take whole
hours.
teams to.
Yeah.
We can
When
look
meet,
into it.
we could ask about that. The health board may put up some of the money.
That's a good idea.
Where would the county's money come from to fund this?
Well, it depends on where they wanna take it from. That's,
We have some,
we've got that
funds
money from that donation
that's still.
left.
Before we use much more of that, we need more equipment upstairs. We've got bicycles that are tearing up, and we've been asked to get a Thigh Master and a couple other machines upstairs. And I know our upstairs area is utilized heavily right now.
Yeah.
I think we've got 4 bicycles, and 2 of them have the backs that lay pretty much down, which is broken. They're so old that they can't be fixed. The parts are just obsolete right now.
What about the play area for the smaller kids, Robin? Have you got anything in it yet?
I'm waiting on the carpet. When the guy gets the carpet, I was supposed to have a quote yesterday from Rockland County. That way I had 2 different quotes. I've got one for $4,000 for them from Mike Stacy. And as soon as we get that carpet down, I can put the inflatables up. I've had a donation of some little activity centers to stick in the middle of the floor.
So you're gonna put the inflatables in there?
Once I get the inflatables up,
Then
I
it's
have
too
to
big
have
for you.
GFI breakers or some kind of it's not really a power surge, but it's something to keep the electricity from coming back on the motors on the blowers. And it's not very expensive. The guy said it would cost about the same to change the breakers or to change the outlets or to buy this part. He said otherwise, if we do the GFI breaker, we won't have to have an electrician put it in. So I figured we'd just buy the adapter thing. And then we have to have them inspected. And after that, we're ready to go.
That should boost things up for what when we get that in.
Well, right now, I have 3 or 4 ladies that come in early morning. They bring 3 or 4 or 5 kids with them. And there's nothing for those kids to do. Because they're at that age where they could be in that toddler area.
Well, do we want this gentleman to come and talk to us next meeting about this batting and pitching cage? Let him give us some particulars about it.
Yeah, I'd say they come and find out what else we need besides,
Yeah.
besides what he's got here.
And we contact him and have him come. Okay, the contract's up again on the lease of cleaning the judicial center down there. I think when we wrote it up, we didn't go to the end of June, did we? It needs to go from June 30th to July 1st a year. And that's the way it's.
July 1 to June 30th?
Yeah, the contract needs to be.
We could probably just renew that contract. I think we've saved a lot of money by getting these people that got it now.
We need to put it with the rest of the stuff that runs from, like he said, June the 30th to July 1st.
Yeah.
We've had some phone calls that's requested it be advertised for bid again.
Well, shouldn't be any problem in advertising again, should there? I mean, this,
It seemed like a year ain't very long for them to get all their stuff in there, you know, to cut them off every year. The
Yeah.
people that had it before that had it for how many years, 4 or 5?
I don't know.
I think so, yeah.
Pretty good while.
Seen it.
Yes.
We would be, I don't know how it would work, we'd be willing to, you said it would need to be renewed again in June. Is that what, we would be willing to do it at the same price that we had done it for until you want to renew the contract if you wanted to do it then? Or if it has to be done, or we'll continue to do it for the same price?
Yeah. I think when it was first established, we just put it for the, what was it, 4 months or something, and we should have run it for the fiscal year like it runs, you know, we did not do that.
Right.
So we need to do that now. So it shouldn't be any problem.
Just extend it out until the end of June.
Yeah, just let it go till we bid it again.
Can we do that, Miles?
I'd have to look into it. I mean, the original contract stands, whatever we had that advertisement at first. What was the advertisement for?
I don't know, I wasn't here, I'd have to go back and look at it. But it's my understanding that it ends at the end of March. The contract is over.
The contract is up?
Yeah.
It's up to the fiscal court to vote on if they want to rebid it, but I mean, if people want to rebid it, I mean, well, that's on the fiscal court.
Do we have to?
I do know it was a shortened time. I don't know why it went to March instead of to the fiscal year. You know, I would definitely think it'd be all right to go to the end of the fiscal year. I mean, any disruption in that would be, I think it would hurt the efficiency of the judicial system and keeping it clean. But everything else, I mean, you know, every fiscal year, it depends on what that bid said. Was this going to be a multi-year thing, or was this going to be a single
We
year
need to go
thing?
back and look at how it was advertised.
Yeah.
So you're saying we'll be all right to go to the end of the fiscal year, but
I think definitely we're all right going to
Doesn't it
fiscal
say
year,
we
no
could renew in
problem.
that contract without?
See, I haven't read it.
I don't-
I'm not
I don't-
sure.
I don't remember it. I feel like I
Seems
read
to me
that,
like
I'm not
it is.
sure.
I'm not sure.
Because that's why it was done with
Yeah.
the previous. They just continued it, but they
Yeah.
never rebid.
And
We'll just have to
And
look
And
at it
I
instead of
think, and
talking
I
about
could
what
be
it
wrong,
might
but I
say.
think that contract reads that they can continue it at your discretion at the same price, I think. But it's, you know, just fiscal court decision. I'm not
Well, we can
100%
go to the end of the,
but
you're like Miles said, then that'll give somebody time to look over the contract and actually
Yeah.
see what it says.
Yep.
Do we need a motion to extend it on out until the end of
Fiscal
June?
year.
Yeah, we'll have Miles to look at the contract.
It's only, I mean,
3 months.
3 months, I don't see any more bids in
Second.
3 months.
Yeah. Anthony made the motion, Brandon seconded, that we'll continue on to the end of the fiscal year. All in favor?
Uh-huh.
You want to update us on some of these coal sewer projects?
We're just ready to do the authorizing resolution for that 90,000 for the coal severance projects, the one that we gotta get spent right away. Christ Pantry, 5,000. The volunteer fire department's 40,000 divided equally. Rescue squad, 5,000. Transfer station for 2 dumpsters, 12,000. A design for the new transfer station, 10,000. Youth and Wellness Center for various equipment, 18,000. So, and we're ready to do the resolution. I've sent in the scope of work, and that's been approved, so we're ready for this.
Need a motion on that to accept
Yes.
it? So
Yeah.
moved.
Second.
John made it, and Dindal seconded, all in favor?
Uh-huh.
Does that use up all the 90,000?
Yes, yep. We have to spend all of that, we have to get that spent right away.
We don't want to let money lay around, we need to spend it.
Sounds like my money, I have to spend it just right now.
I do
I
too.
can't keep it at all.
Mine goes faster than I can make it.
Goes faster than it comes in.
Yeah.
Okay, Anthony, what is it about the decals for the,
Well, it's the lack of decals. I get a phone call about once, ever so often, saying the county's putting gravel on a private drive or straightening everything up. But this last call,
What are they
were-
saying?
Well, they were saying that we're cleaning driveways and so forth. Then they'll call back and say, I'm sorry, that was another person doing that. And I think that we could stop that by having decals put on the trucks.
Do we not have most of them?
Not on the new ones.
No.
I don't think.
No,
And,
just a couple got decals, most of them don't.
Okay.
but I let them know right off, wait a minute, we don't have anyone that would be crooked or do something wrong. And then they'll call back and say, well, we found out who it was and it wasn't the county.
Yeah.
I think this right here would solve the problem.
I got a good raking like that one time.
Did you? And it wasn't the county.
The county had had a truck and they sold it. And the person that bought it, they had it at Cougar Corner cleaning the parking lot.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Didn't take the decal off the door.
Well, it shouldn't be a problem to put decals on there, should it?
No, we need to buy the decals and you might have to take it to a body shop and to where it would be done right.
Yeah.
Them decals ain't hard to put on.
Well, I mean, some of them, if you don't get to clean up real good and you feel.
Yeah, they're not that hard to put on.
I'm already.
I think he's already got them made over
Don't say they used to keep them over.
Dale Ice.
Mm-hmm.
He's already got it down at the pier or whatever.
Already got the design and the print and all that, just gotta print it off.
I'll make a motion that we put decals on all of our county trucks so that we can't be accused of something that doesn't happen.
All right.
I second it.
Anthony's made it and Daniel's second. All in favor? Gary, can you see that we get some decals to go on our equipment? We don't want to be misidentified.
Well, I mean, it just, one come up just recently up railroad. Okay.
I'd say with the surplus, then ought to cut the decal off of them before they leave.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
state.
Before they leave the lot.
state does it.
Paint them over or whatever.
Paint over them or fill her off.
Like they do school buses.
They'll come right off.
Okay, Anthony, something about the
Did
culvert.
you have a chance to look into the
I haven't been
corrugated
able to get
culverts?
any price yet on the corrugated culverts, but I will.
Can I go ahead and make a motion that we buy enough to take care of? I know there's 2 places, maybe 3 in my district. And do you have one that, someone else, maybe it was a lady but anyway, there's probably 5 different places.
I don't think they'll be that expensive, really. I don't know.
I mean, you gotta get something
I don't
to
think
work.
they are.
If you go up railroad.
I really don't think they'll be very effective, Anthony, because
Well-
they'll fill up with silt and rock and stuff, and then it runs right over the top of it.
On a gravel road, they don't work that good if it's blacktop.
Yeah,
Well, no,
blacktop,
the
yeah.
places
They
I'm
fill
talking
full of
about.
rock and dirt.
Yeah.
One up Railroad and one up Griffin.
There's one over at Centerville, because that Vance boy has some laid out there by his garage. But this dirt comes down the hill, and runs over them things, and
Yeah.
they're sealed over, and then they don't do their,
Doug
do their job.
Doug
Yeah.
Banks actually
That's what I'm
built that
talking
one,
about.
and he showed me how it worked. You just
Yeah.
pull it up, he cleans it out.
It
It's
fills
working
up
for
real
him.
quick, and if you got very much silt and dirt and stuff, and you're right back in the same place.
What can we do outside of that?
I don't know of anything else we can do other than just do the best that we
Take the
can.
fire truck and wash them out.
A lot of pressure. Yeah.
Well, I
They ain't
mean,
real bad. And I talked to the fire department, give them a look at it, see if they, I know they've done several that way in my district, with a small
you mean
culvert.
to have that culvert and every so often?
Yeah, just go every so often, what it does, it starts getting built up at the bottom, and if you want to get it cleaned out, and then kind of keep an eye on it before it gets full again, you wash it out pretty easy with fire trucks. And if they're big enough, sometimes they can drag a car tar through them with a chain, but it's got to be a decent sized culvert. It's real small if they can. That's about the only thing you can do, try replacing them.
Well,
We'll look into the price of it and see what it's gonna cost. They shouldn't be much
We just
higher
need-
than regular culverts. Shouldn't be.
so you don't want to make a motion to go ahead and
Go ahead
purchase?
and make the motion.
I'll make a motion, we go ahead and purchase corrugated culverts.
You're a second to that motion?
Thank you.
Anthony made it and Stanley seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we got some vendor claims we need to pay.
Yep. Got the packet in here. Same old, same old.
I'll make a motion to pay them.
Second.
Denzel made it and John seconded. Pay the vendor claims that needs to be paid.
That's the one Connie emailed us.
Yeah.
Aye.
Okay, I guess that'll,
Concerning what we were talking about earlier, the carpet down there in the small culvert area. I've already got one quote, I'm waiting on another quote, and I need to bring that back before the court, before we just go ahead and do it, because they already said earlier at a meeting that I could go ahead and do that stuff. But where it's not bid out, I'm just getting 2 quotes. Can I go with just the cheaper one? Or do I need to bring it back to you all?
I don't see why you couldn't. What'd you say
It'll
the one
depend on
was,
how
around
that's-
4,000 or
it's
something?
worded.
The one I've already got is 4,000. And I just went ahead, the guy from the golf, I mean, if they leave the carpet came down, and I asked him to give me a quote. So I'm waiting on his quote. It was supposed to be here yesterday, but he didn't make it. So do I just go with the one I've already got, or go between the both of them?
We had already approved it, hadn't we?
Huh?
We had already approved it,
I
hadn't we?
think they did, didn't they, Lindsay? Didn't they say that? Well, he
I
didn't.
think so.
Did you
I don't
check
know,
with-
that's what I
Did you
said.
check over with Mike Stacy?
That's the one I got the quote from them.
Yeah. Well, I'd say it'd be okay, to go ahead and do it if
Yeah.
we already
But
approved
I
it.
mean,
If I get the other one today, just go between the 2 of them, or get the cheapest, or
oh yeah, just go with the one you think's best, Robin, you know about them, we do anyway.
I know this is a special call meeting, but we have someone that would like to say, Ronnie,
You have to
want to speak to,
adjourn
huh?
first. We'd have to adjourn first.
Oh, we have to adjourn, okay.
Wouldn't it, Randy? I think so. And then let him speak to you. Is that right?
Everybody can't be together and talking about stuff if it's not, but it's just a special meeting. Does it concern anything of this?
It's not on the agenda.
I don't think so, but unless it's, yeah, we can't talk about it in the meeting.
No.
So you just gotta adjourn and then whatever else.
Okay, do I hear a motion, we adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
All right, Denzel made and seconded. Yeah.
I just like to know, when they gonna put on the agenda for the art help down your road.
Well, I don't know for sure, but can't do it in a special session, we'll have to do it in a regular meeting and schedule it to be on the agenda. And probably, maybe March meeting, Ronnie? Okay. Denzel, you made the motion to adjourn?
Yeah.
See you in a second on it?
Second.
All right. All in favor? Aye.